Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and tonight we're talking about the birds and the bees. Yep, I know we talk about sex all the time on this show, but have we talked about talking about sex with our kids? There's a lot to unpack, so I need a drink in my hand, and I've got Christy Reedy here. Ooh, 2 cocktails?
Yes, ma'am, you got 2 cocktails.
What is this?
We have the schizophrenic playboy and the gold dust woman.
Oh, are they boozy?
Oh, very.
Oh, we need this, especially for the mamas on the couch who are ready to talk about the birds and the bees. Let's get into it.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
All right, let's talk to the women on the couch. They are all mamas and friends of the Nightcap. We have Sky Houston. We've got Stephanie C.
Hey there.
We have Josie Pickens, Rachel Roberts, and Laura G. All right, we're gonna talk about the birds and the bees, y'all. I know how uncomfortable it can get, so we're gonna take it back. Before we talk about our own kids, let's talk about how our parents talk to us about the birds and the bees. How did that go down for y'all?
Well, I just had a diagram. So, I mean, it was like, oh, my parents had a couple cocktails like this, and then they showed me, and they're like, okay, you got this, you see the parts. And that was about all I got.
Wow. How old were you?
Probably 11,
11?
12. Yeah.
Was that too late? Perfect time.
Too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
The curiosity had already crept in. All right.
Yeah.
Laura?
Mine wasn't. We didn't talk about it. We did not.
It was not a discussion.
Not up for discussion at all. So.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Sky's over here giggling.
Because I really believe my family still don't think I've had sex.
She's a whole
Listen, I had my son a little late. I didn't have my son until 32, and folks really were like, how? Like, how? So, no, it was never a conversation.
You were like, it was immaculate conception.
They believe so highly in me, they're like, nah, ain't nobody touching that.
But she has a kid. Okay, baby.
I have a kid.
I feel like by the time my mom was a single mom, by the time she sat down to be like, here's the birds and the bees chat, like her brothers were around and they were younger than her. And so like sex was discussed in very open spaces at the house. So I kind of already had put 2 and 2 together by the time like mom put a book in front of me, kind of like that. And she was like, this, da, da, da. And then we had this thing at church and like the youth group, and you know, they were like, boys go in this room, girls go in this room, we're gonna have the chitter chat. And so I kind of had it coming at me from all directions.
angles.
So I didn't have a lot of questions. I kind of figured it out. Yeah.
Josie?
Yeah, nothing from my parents, not at all.
Okay.
But I did have, I have a sister who's 6 years older than me and a brother who's 10 years older than me. So I don't know that they talked to me about it either, but I feel like at some point I could ask questions with my sister. And then like health class, which is like the most terrible way of having a conversation. You're in there with like cackling little boys and girls who are like too shy to ask the questions they really want to ask. And that was like middle school, maybe like 6th or 7th grade. Yeah.
I was given a blue book. I still remember it very well. And I was really young. And my parents still talk about it. I mean, sex was a very open conversation in my house.
Wow. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Blue book.
Give them blue balls.
Right?
Blue. Okay.
But that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to talk to them when they're little.
Yeah.
All right, so how did we change with our own kids? Have we changed with our own kids? Have you had the birds and the bees talks?
No, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Most definitely.
Okay, Josie's like an absolutely. So how did you discuss it?
So I write and speak and research about sex and pleasure. So, I've done that research where it says, hey, like you have to start having those conversations early. And I've just always wanted my daughter to be armed with information. Like I want you to have information to make good choices.
Right. Yes.
So I think the first time we had the conversation when she was maybe around 6 or 7, because I think she may have discovered online some, they make cartoon porn.
They do.
Hentai.
And so you can, and even like I was saying earlier, like Scooby-Doo, there is a porn version of whatever, and the Seven Dwarfs,
You think about
and they're all getting it on.
Yeah.
And so I think that she may have run across something like that. So there was like that initial talk about like, hey, like let's talk about what's safe for your body. And then I think as she got a little older, moving more into her teen years, like, let's talk about what might feel good to your body. And I want you to, you know, because I want you to center yourself in your pleasure. I don't want you to be thinking about someone else's pleasure all the time. So let's talk about your body and what is healthy for your body and what will feel good to your body.
Wow, you did everything right.
I like that.
And the whole time she was like, oh,
Yeah. You're embarrassing me.
yeah, she was completely embarrassed.
Of course. How old is she now?
She is 17.
Okay, so
Yeah.
good conversations throughout.
Yeah, and I also gave her the option of like, hey, so if something is happening and you don't feel comfortable talking to me, like, talk to your cousin or talk to this person and they'll listen and give you some information and advice as well.
Right.
So I think that's important.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a barrier, you know, with parents.
You're just getting to that point?
I think this is the year for me and my son, the point of no return, right? So if I recall as a female, 6th grade was when the boys really started feeling themselves and trying to feel on me.
Yes.
So if I recall what my experiences were in 6th grade, my son entered 6th grade this year. And I've tried to pay attention to my kid and know what's appropriate, not what people tell me I should do or when I should do. I pay attention to my kid.
Right.
So listening to him, I kind of know his level, right? So this year, going to 6th grade, his number one thing is he wants to go to public school because he wants to see new girls, fresh girls. Yeah, he said it. He wanted to see new girls.
Fresh girl.
He's been going to a school, he's used to all of those girls, and he's heard somewhere this is the year to start having a girlfriend. So we're going to start the conversation.
Yeah. Lord, are you ready?
I love it.
I'm not, but I need to get ready because I'll never be ready.
Right. Right.
You drink your bourbon, you'll be ready.
All right. Grab the bourbon, ladies. Grab the bourbon. All right. Y'all stay right there because the conversation of the birds and the bees continues right after this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've got the gorgeous mamas in the building because we've been talking about the birds and the bees talk and how we have it with our children. We've got Sky Houston, we've got Stephanie C, Josie Pickens, Rachel Roberts, and Laura G. All right, Laura, we didn't get to talk to you. You've got 3 kids. Did you have the birds and the bees talk with them?
I did, but it would be quick car conversations because they couldn't get out of the vehicle while I was driving. So
You trapped them.
I trapped them.
Yeah.
It'd just be random times too. It wasn't like we're gonna have a conversation, let's go to dinner, let's talk. It was just like, so what you know? I need to know what do you know?
So at what point did you start?
It was probably around
Middle school?
5th, 6th grade. It was because having 3, the older sister was going to know more information before the younger one, and so I knew I had to have conversations with the younger one sooner than later.
Right.
It's just that's what kind of happened with the sibling order. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was great conversation, dude. Probably no more tops than like 10, 15-minute quick conversations. And once they were like, Mom, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, well, let me know if you need to know something or
Right.
whatnot, and now they're almost all adults. And so it makes me a little queasy, at times talking about like, oh my God, y'all are really,
Growing up.
grown got it.
So it's like you can't control them now.
Yeah,
You can't decide things for them. They are now
They are.
their own humans navigating the world.
Yes, they
and making their
are.
own decisions. And we're just tasked with preparing them to make those decisions.
Yeah.
It is such a burden, such a responsibility.
I say that all the
Yes.
time
It is a
because,
setup.
I was a teen mom, so I, in a sense, messed up, right? And it was one of those things where I didn't want that to be their life. And so I had to be like, because again, we didn't talk about it. I mean, I wasn't talked about it at all. It was like, my mom was just like, we don't talk about it. I mean, I went to the library, I remember this, and checking a book out because I wanted to know, and my mom's like, she found the book and she's like, heck no, and da 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 da.
What are you looking at?
It was just one thing after another, but there you go. And now it's like we have a very open conversation with that, and so.
Rachel, what about you, Boo Boo?
Well, I have a 16-year-old and an 8-year-old, and we really haven't had the conversation yet. But you know what? I thought it was so bad. My friends, we went to dinner a few nights ago, and I asked them, so when did you start talking to your kids about the birds? I mean, 2 of my other friends were like, we didn't really talk about it. I'm like, neither did I. And they're like, yeah, you know what? I mean, our generation, we didn't, I don't know, but it's important. It's definitely important.
Are you feeling I feel like you're feeling some regret, Rachel.
I am definitely, if one of you, ladies want to come over and do the talk, because you're going to be doing yours tonight, I feel like it's,
Can I call you on the freeway? Can we Zoom?
Yeah, just I'll put you on
Like,
speaker.
listen.
Can we Zoom into the talk?
Yeah.
Stephanie, I want to bring you into this because you had the conversation when they were 11.
Yeah,
now-
like the official conversation.
The official
but it was
conversation.
an evolving conversation.
Of course,
the
over
years.
time.
Yeah. Yes.
And now, sent her off to college.
I did. So my oldest is off to college, and I like to joke that she didn't really prepare me for my other 2 children, because she was very much like the stereotypical oldest child, right? Very studious. She's very responsible, but I always had faith that she would just like come into all of those things on her own time. But the thing I loved about her was she was so curious, and she's very much into she likes sciencey stuff, right? So the human anatomy and all that, she was like super interested in that. And so I remember, and my kids all, like, I'm pretty sure I did it for all 3 of them. I drew them a picture. I didn't find the book or pull it up on the internet. I was like, so let me just draw it for you. And they all, like, we'll sit around Thanksgiving dinner and they'll be like, Mom, do you remember the time you drew the picture?
So did you have
like, yes,
a
I did.
different conversation with her before college about sex?
We talked more about kind of like what she was discussing, like how old do you want to be? I didn't approach it like that, but she had a couple of boyfriends, right, along the way. But she's really hoping that in college she'll find somebody that there's like a mutual respect for each other, and that they can really have like a true intimate relationship with, or, you know, like actually have cool conversations and whatnot. So I just really approached that conversation with, you know, make sure that you can have a conversation. And I also say, you know, you should pay attention to how he treats his mom. And you know, make sure that you are comfortable, and you can always speak up if you're not. And then I also just say, you know, you lay down with someone, like, that's your responsibility. You have to be able to accept those responsibilities. And the other thing I would also like to say is just that because of the way I was brought up, I made a point, my husband and I both did, and we agreed on this, like when the kids were itty bitty, when we first started having children. We didn't want our kids to grow up thinking like sex was bad or feel ashamed of it. So we, over the years with all 3 of the girls, have tried to show them and express to them that you shouldn't be ashamed, that like you have physical feelings for someone else, and that, yeah, you should explore that and enjoy it.
In a safe way.
In a safe way.
I have one more tactic.
Oh, hold on. We'll talk about it. Don't you worry. These women are fired up. All right. The birds and the bees conversation continues after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've got the moms here because we've been talking about how to talk about sex with our kids, which ain't easy to navigate, right?
Not at all.
And before we went to break, Sky, you were like, there's one point I really have to drive home.
Yeah, she made me remember. I do what I call bumpers around my kid. You know when you go bowling and the kids can't bowl, so you put up the side guards. What I call bumpers is cheat code. Getting real good with his friends' parents, right? Okay. Because at some point, his friends will have more influence on him than I will, or he won't want to talk about it with me. So I find out what the other kids know from their parents. Like one of his closest guy friends, his mom showed me a video that she showed her son. So I'm like, okay, they're going to be talking. I know what he's going to be showing or talking about with my kid. Let me make sure my kid gets this information, and they can share and know, but I know kind of what the kids around him know.
Oh, that's good.
That
Parent hack right there.
And the thing is, I put him in certain circles where I know the caliber of the kid.
Yeah.
For the most part, as much as you can know. I try to know the caliber of the kids around him.
That's good. I like that hack. That's a good one. All right, cheers to that.
Yes.
But you know what time it is? I'm glad you got your drinks in your hands. It's time for Game Night! Yes! All right, ladies, you're cheering real hard and you don't know what we're playing. We're playing Never Have I Ever. All right? If you have, you take a little sip. All right? If you haven't, you don't drink. All right? First up, never have I ever been caught by my mom messing around.
Wait, if you have.
If you have?
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of
All right. Never have I ever caught my kid messing around.
Oh, Lord. Thank God there's not.
Oh, Laura!
Oh, group hug.
How was it?
Was it awful? Was it embarrassing?
Awful. It was awful. Another side of me came out, and I scared the out of them.
Everybody.
I scared myself.
You were red as hell.
Yeah, I was.
Everybody.
Well, hold up. We got Christy behind the bar. She is just beside herself. What'd you do? Uh-oh, Naomi's covering her mouth. What's happening back there?
I've been caught twice.
Oh,
Oh my God!
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that when I head behind the bar.
As she says.
We will. Okay. All right, hold on. Last one.
That's going to be a good story.
There you go.
Never have I ever talked to my parents about my first sexual experience.
I'm gonna put this way down.
next question. I don't want to know your business.
Look, I'm gonna just put it down.
Mama's cheers. Thank you so much. Listen. It's a huge responsibility to raise children, and we're doing the best we can, okay?
That's it.
All right.
What we got?
Well, coming up next, I'm gonna learn how to make both of these drinks and also learn about what Naomi did. You stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. I'm behind the bar now because we've got Christy and Naomi ready to do what? Back that glass up! And they are a mother and daughter who are both bartenders and know what the hell they're doing. Christy, what are you making for me?
I'm making a schizophrenic Playboy.
Ooh, what's in it?
Girl, it's got bullet bourbon rye. It has a simple syrup that is made with brown sugar, maple syrup, and cranberry.
Oh, hell yeah.
We have black walnut bitters and orange bitters.
Oh, yes. And you know, that's an old fashioned that's right after my heart. Okay.
You definitely ready.
Naomi, what are you making for me?
I'm doing the Gold Dust Woman. So there's a reposado tequila. There's some ginger liqueur in it. There's papaya, and then turmeric and lime.
some gold dust.
Some gold dust and some lime.
Okay,
Makes
I
it
love
sparkly.
it. All right, ladies, get to work, start shaking things up, and I'm about to interrogate y'all. All right, Christy, you had some things to say about that Never Have I Ever game. You were raising your hand behind the bar,
Yes,
ready
I was.
to tell. Naomi's over here shaking. That's why she's so concentrated.
I'm avoiding the question.
I really do not want you to share any details, but
Okay.
what happened?
So I did catch her twice doing intimate things.
Oh, Lord. At
Yeah.
home, in her bedroom?
Exactly
both.
where you're talking about.
Oh, no. She said both. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Had you had the birds and the bees conversation with her?
Yes, I have. But it was more of an honest thing, you know?
Okay, what do you mean?
Anytime
Like,
I
honestly-
asked a question, she as
I'm trying
a
not to
kid,
be-
we didn't really have reserved or restricted anything with television. And so we would ask questions or we'd hear from classmates or anything, and she would totally tell us because she didn't want to,
Lead you astray.
Yeah, no, not at all. And so when I would ask a question, she would honestly tell me, and then I wouldn't have to go into my later life completely astray. And I was honestly more prepared. When that conversation came up, when that instance came up, I was way more prepared because she was so honest.
How does that feel? How does that feel? Come
It was
on.
uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me because she was very young at the beginning when she would ask those, those informing questions.
TV or friends even will tell you stuff that you're like, oh, I didn't expect that at all.
So now we're this.
Sorry.
You already made it.
I do speed craft cocktails for a living. My bad.
I'm more of a speed, like, look, you want a beer shot, and just throw it out. She's the genius of the craft cocktails.
She was telling me all last night how proud she was of me.
Oh, see,
I
this is a
showed her my
beautiful
little bar
relationship.
book, and so.
This is exactly what we want. All right.
Exactly.
Woo, cinnamon stick, and thank you, ladies. Cheers.
Cheers.
I mean, this is what relationships are all about. Cheers, mamas. All right, come on, scooch on in. All right, cheers to you at home. Listen, I hope you learned the birds and the bees either with us here on the couch, or, you know, if you didn't learn it from your parents, you are teaching your kids properly about sex, because it's an important conversation. All right, cheers to y'all. We'll see you guys next time here on the Nightcap. Cheers.
Missed out on the Nightcap? Well, head on over to our YouTube page and catch up with Carolina.
You can watch full episodes anytime you want. And don't forget to share it with your friends, because we got to keep the conversation flowing.
If you're confident in yourself, who can stop you?
Ding dong, titties.
We're not looking to hurt the sisters,
Gotcha.
but you know, we can get men pretty big.
Why do I look disgusting?
No.
Also, fellas, the toy is not your enemy, it's your teammate.
Tag it in. Join us weeknights on Fox 26 at 11:30 and anytime on Fox Soul.